Lassen wir das Fest jetzt endlich enden. Lassen wir endlich mal einen neuen Morgen anbrechen. Kein Bedauern. Nur die Freude jetzt.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact.
How did things turn out like this?
Okay, Schluss mit dieser Fassade.
Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you into this.
Traveler.
Okay, ich glaube, er weiß wirklich, wer wir sind. Selbst wenn das Ersatz jetzt wirklich nicht Dottore sein sollte. So müsste er sicherlich mit ihm zusammenarbeiten. Aber, ja, irgendwie bin ich immer noch dabei zu glauben, dass das vielleicht Dottore verkleidet als der große Weise von Sumero ist.
Traveler, what the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the academia, that's another day gone to waste.
Ja, hallo?
Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff?
Tja, sie sind Puppen.
Oh, of course. If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
Warte, was ist in diesen Blumentöpfen? Waren die Feuersack auch schon voll gewesen?
Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real Padisaras went extinct after her death.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of purple.
That beautiful shade of purple. Weren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice. Tanyarzad, did you find these?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So, Al?
Yeah. What's going on here?
Okay, Nilo, schließ deine Augen. Stell dir vor, dass der große Weise und seine Leute nicht vor deinen Augen sind.
You guys are acting weird. But okay, I'll try. Hey!
Jetzt hat die Uhr 12 geschlagen.
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What a surprise! Purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assumed there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be real Padisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu?
Ganz genau.
But if we want to end the Samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
Woher weißt du das?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sabzeruz festival?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is a dream? As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendroarchon.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City. So it was about the first sage, huh?
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to the story. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendroarchon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendroarchon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendroarchon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendroarchon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love." In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the Academia. What a happy ending.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendroarchon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the story.
Naja, da Nilo es schon bemerkt hat.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sabzeru's festival is almost over too. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sabzerus as beautiful as we can.
Ja, Tanz nach Herzenslust.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sabzerus.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time.
Ja, guten Morgen, Paimon.
Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even remember going to sleep last night? Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival! Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara?
Oh, ich erinnere mich.
Quick! Take off your Akasha Terminal!
Ja, schnell, lass uns zu Dunyasat gehen. Aber erstmal legen wir das scheußliche Teil ab. Dieses teuflische Werkzeug.
She's not in her room. What happened?
Okay, geht zu dem Ort.
Huh? What usual spot?
Ich denke mal, wir sollen jetzt wieder zur Parkbank gehen. Oder nein, wir gehen jetzt wieder zur Krankenstation. Da ist aber jetzt leider auch niemand.
Traveler and Paimon.
Was? Catherine?
Thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Dunyasat!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zeros.
Tja, des Morgens 1000 Rosen erwachen beendet. Aber jetzt kommt die Dämmerung. Sprich also mit Catherine. Aber bevor wir das jetzt machen, aktivieren wir die prachtvollen Wälder. Das Sternenbild. Parasitäres Gras aktivieren. Stellt dem Reisenden beim Treffen von Gegnern mit Grasklinge 3,5 Punkte Elementarenergie wieder her. Tja, besser als nichts. Aber jetzt ist mal weiter. Im Text.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the Traveler's favorite bench?
Naja, nach all den vielen Träumen würde ich ja mal sagen, dass diese Bank jetzt wirklich meine Lieblingsbank ist. Aber gut. Eigentlich ist ja jetzt das Kapitel ja vorbei. Kann man sagen. Der zweite Akt ist jetzt eigentlich ja vorbei. Aber jetzt kommt noch der Epilog. Wie nett. Ein kleiner Epilog, um das Ganze jetzt noch zum Abschluss zu bringen. Tja, und dann können wir ja erstmal was abwarten, bis dann Version 3.1 kommt. Und ansonsten haben wir noch ein paar klitzekleine Missionen zu erledigen. Und natürlich auch noch den Legendenauftrag von Tighnari. Was dann wohl als nächstes wir machen werden. Wir haben dann ja immer noch ein paar Tage Zeit.
Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's all right.
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear.
I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the Samsara.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
Das freut mich.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
Alright, you two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As
Oh ja,
I will answer any and all questions.
Ja, wir haben viele Fragen. Was habe ich im Avidia-Wald gesehen, als ich bewusstlos war?
At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah, so you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria.
It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from the Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain.
The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's.
Okay, nächste Frage. Warum siehst du wie Catherine aus?
To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine. Does this mean you can also occupy other people's consciousnesses?
Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Surasthana?
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nahida?
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation. And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing this country. My existence has little meaning.
Also in meinen Augen bist du eine ausgezeichnete Göttin.
Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough.
Gut, dann die nächste Frage. Warum haben die Weisen der Akademie so etwas geplant?
There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. This is the first time I've seen them step out of line. I wonder what caused them to go down this path, and what they hope to achieve. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero's Samsara, the situation could have become dire. I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And all the people of interest seem to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. I think they're deliberately trying to hide something.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Kainari to join some kind of project. Could it be related?
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet, or they'll see me coming.
Hat keiner bemerkt, irgendetwas stimmt mit Akasha nicht?
You mean how the Akasha stops you from having dreams?
Yeah, it's been such a long time. No one's noticed something's up?
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection.
Misdirection?
The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor in Sumeru. Even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate their research. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against this. Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt. By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams.
Okay, dann habe ich an der Stelle keine weiteren Fragen.
Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think I may need to rest for a while. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero's Samsara in the immediate future.
Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us.
Und tragen vor allem das Kontrollgerät jetzt nicht mehr.
What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.
Wer hätte eigentlich auch gerechnet, dass Catherine quasi ein Android aus Samsara ist? Okay, was ist das jetzt? Anwerbung des Regiments der 30. Sprich mit Effendi? Wo steht denn das denn jetzt? Endloser Forschungsantrag? Seltsamer Mensch am Cliff und gefährliche Forschung? Schatz unter den Reben? Na, das war also was anderes. Anwerbung des Regiments der 30. Das ist jetzt mal sehr interessant. Hat das, Sack jetzt auch mit irgendeinem kleinen Mini-Event zu tun? Tablettenseminar. Face-Versuche. Schnitzen der Kindlichkeit, was Sack jetzt noch 9 Tage geht. Probeläufe, Damawald. Donnernde Blüte, Neuordnung der Gestirne. Nö, anscheinend hat das, Sack jetzt nichts mit irgendwas anderem hier zu tun. Mal sehen, was wollen wir dann, Sack jetzt mal machen? Ich würde einfach mal sagen, wir kaufen uns jetzt erstmal ein bisschen Urgestein ein. Tja, das konnte ja an der Stelle jetzt auch nicht schaden. Aber gut, aber gut. Wie schon gesagt, als nächstes würde ich jetzt erst einmal den Legendenauftrag von Tainari machen. Und danach können wir, sag, immer noch sehen, ob wir, sag mal, die Anwerbung des Regiments der 30 in Angriff nehmen oder irgendwas anderes. Aber wie schon gesagt, es war jetzt, sag, schon mal ziemlich aufschlussreich. Traumernte. Catherine ist ein Android. Erklärt natürlich auch, weshalb die überall gleich aussehen. Aber dass die ausgerechnet aus Samsara kommen. Tja, damit hätte ich ja, sagt, nicht gerechnet. Das bedeutet dann ja quasi, dass sowieso Samsara ein ziemlich großes Informationsnetzwerk in ganz Teyvat ja besitzt, aufgrund der Catherine-Droiden. Interessant. Wirklich interessant, dass die überhaupt auch in der Lage sind, solche komplexen, Organismen herzustellen. Damit hätte ich jetzt, Sag, auch nicht gerechnet. Aber das müssen dann jetzt auf jeden Fall, Sag, Überbleibsel aus Kenria sein. Weil ich denke, Sag nicht, dass irgendein anderes Land hier... obwohl Inazuma, Raiden Shogun hat ja natürlich ja auch eine... quasi Puppe erschaffen, einen Androiden. Scaramouche. Wenn sie ihn also analysiert haben... als sie ihn, Sag, in die 11 der Fatui aufnahm. Dann könnte es, Sag, ja nicht nur ein Überbleibsel aus Kenria sein, sondern vielleicht, obwohl eigentlich dafür sind die Catherine-Druiden jetzt auch ein bisschen zu, normal. Alles nur Spekulationen. Jetzt auf jeden Fall lassen wir erstmal den Part jetzt hier ruhen. Der ist vorbei. Wir haben das dritte Kapitel, Akt 1 und 2, abgeschlossen. Jetzt müssen wir erstmal darauf abwarten, dass Akt 3 kommen wird, ab dem 28. September. Und danach, ja, wollen wir doch mal sehen, in was für eine Richtung die Geschichte sich jetzt weiterentwickeln wird. Wie werden wir herausfinden, was mit Irminsul nicht stimmt? Was soll das Ganze mit der Traumernte? Was bezwecken die damit? Wollen sie so einen Weg nach Irminsul finden, um das göttliche Herz aus dem Baum herauszureißen? Wollen die vielleicht doch die höhere Herren Ruka Devata irgendwie wiederherstellen? Indem sie eine Verbindung zu Irminsul herstellen, wo dann vielleicht das Bewusstsein von Ruka Devata vielleicht noch vorhanden ist, in einen künstlichen Körper einpflanzen, mit der Hilfe der Fatui, dass sie allein deshalb das Ganze jetzt in Angriff nahmen, mit der Traumernte, mit dem Akasha-Kontrollgerät. Das würde dann vielleicht auch sowieso auch erklären, weshalb Dottore hier sowieso in Version 3.1 auftauchen wird. Was er mit Irminsul zu tun hat. Weshalb Irminsul in Flammen stand. Wenn er ihnen ein Versprechen gemacht hat, Ruka Devata wieder auferstehen zu lassen. Und dafür das göttliche Herz zu erlangen. Von Sumero. Ja, da bin ich mir ziemlich sicher, dass die Akademiker, oder besser gesagt die Weisen von Sumero, diesen Handel auf alle Fälle eingehen würden. Weil sie ja sowieso ja kein großes, Interesse an der niederen Herren Kusanali haben. Und sie ja sowieso nicht als qualifizierte Göttin des Landes ansehen. Aber all das, nur Spekulation. Wir werden ja sehen, mit der Version 3.1, wie das Ganze sich noch entwickeln wird. Bis dann und ciao bis dahin. Oder besser gesagt, erstmal bis dann und ciao zum Legendenauftrag von Tainari, den wir ab dem nächsten Part machen werden.